what is it called? The varnish doesn't bleed through. But if it does, we'll just deal with it. So now that I've got one coat on there, I don't really care what it looks like. Let me find my heat tool. So I'm gonna dry it. And this is a banana holder that I got at the thrift store. It's ugly, but we're gonna make it beautiful. And when I get it through, we're gonna glam it up quite a bit. I like things to look totally different when I'm through with it. And we're going to have to put 2 coats on this. Hey, Anna, did you get my message, girlfriend? I sent you a message with my purchase. If you guys are using clay, if you make fake baits, Anna's clay is fabulous. I just ordered some, I think yesterday. And let's see. I was trying really hard not to get the white on the bottom because I wanted to keep the wood on the bottom, but I'm bad for getting paint everywhere. So I got some anyway. So, yeah, so check out her clay if you're looking for a good clay. I ordered some white, Anna, because I am making lots of pies. And I like to start out with white. I know some people, Anna does a lot of clay too. She's fabulous. She does such good work. But do you start out with brown when you do like pies and stuff, Anna, or do you start with a white? I'm just putting the second coat of this white on there. And really, you guys, it really does not have to be perfect. And I'm trying really hard not to get my paint on my short shirt, and I already did. I'm bad for that. I have paint on everything I wear because I am a messy crafter. Yeah, thanks, Anna. I got your message that you had sent the clay out. I appreciate that. You actually won my drawing for the other night. The June drawing, you know, where for sprinkling me out. You won the drawing. So I guess you didn't get to see it live, but I gave 3 days for you to claim it, but the rules are bendable. You know, I make the rules, so they're a little bendable for it. So, I tried to tag some of the ladies in my group who love the black and white checks, because that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. And I love this look too, y'all. I'm sorry, I keep going back to it because it's kind of my thing. But that's all the white I'm going to do. Let me dry that. So you do, okay, so Anna, we're getting a free lesson, y'all. So Anna does clay, and she starts with the cookie dough color and adds bronze. Okay. I don't do that. I normally start with white because I can make it any color I want. But I used to find this color I really like for cookie, but I can't find it anymore hardly. Okay. So that's pretty dry. And I'm going to show you how I space it out. One of the biggest things when you are doing checks is determining what size checks you want. Now, I'll show you what I've done. This is little Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree, and I glued 2 of them together. So you see there's 2 of them. And that's how I'm going to space mine. So I decided to use a flat surface because you guys can see it so much better and it's easier. I'm going to tilt you down just a smidgy. Sorry, I'm right in your face. Because y'all need to see it more than me anyway. So as you see, when I put this banana hanger on there, it's going to be like that. So I want to make sure that my squares are lined up right. And I'm going to tell you how I do. I start in the center. Now, everybody does differently. If you are a person who does like tile work, you know when you tile a room, you don't start on the edge, you start in the center, and that makes it make sense more. So I'm going to get a pencil, and I have an eraser here. Let me sharpen my pencil a little bit. I have an eraser here that is like a eraser that doesn't have, what's it called? Like little pieces when you erase. I don't know, there's a term for it. anyway, it's not messy. So if I have to erase, it doesn't make a mess everywhere. So I'm going to put my my blocks down, and I'll just go on both sides of it, and I'll leave it over the edge so that I don't have a moment where my hand goes a different direction. You see what I'm saying? Now, granted, this one is not long enough to go the whole length, so that's why I use, sometimes I just take it and I just repeat it all the way down, but normally I have and let's do that, because normally I have a little ruler that I use, but I don't know where it's at right now, so I'm just going to do this, because we don't have many to do. So I'm just going to keep going all the way down. And honestly, y'all, you can freehand this. If you have a good eye, you can freehand that. So see, I've got a line all the way down the middle. Now I have to do that all the way over. It gets easier. And see, I only have to do one more line because, see, with this line, it hangs over. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to do that, and then we're going to turn it the other direction. We're going to do it that way too. Now, I know some people are saying, gosh, this is too much. But you'll realize the more you do this, the faster you get. And it's really worth the effort, I feel like. I love the checks, y'all. And one reason I chose to do this tonight is I know everybody is neck deep in Christmas in July. So to me, when I start thinking about Christmas in July, I start thinking about gift giving. I've already made my list for my Christmas presents. And I thought, what better way to do Christmas in July than do something that I would think I could gift to someone. You know, this is a good gift. So we've got direction. The line's going in one direction. Now we're going to turn it sideways and do the exact same thing. Now I'm going to eyeball that and go straight in the middle again. And y'all, I could have done this before coming on, but I wanted everybody to see the process, especially if they're watching the replay, because you can fast forward. And I know that people who are live get frustrated with too much going on. It sometimes you're like, just go ahead, but we're gonna take our time. All right, so the first line, and you can tell when you look at it pretty good that it's even leaning a little bit. Do I care? No, it really doesn't matter. And see, there's one of the spots I went off right here. So I went off line. And that's because my blocks weren't lined up and I went over the edge with my pencil. I'm going to go back and I'm going to erase that, so it doesn't really matter there either. There's so much in doing this. It's so forgiving, and we all make mistakes, y'all. If you love Mackenzie Childs, and that's where that's her and one more artist is where I found the black and white checks and where I fell in love with them. Her stuff is full of flaws. It's not even her, it's a company. I keep saying her because it's a girl name, but when you look at your authentic Mackenzie Childs items, they are not painted well either sometimes. And honestly, sometimes ours are better. Okay, so see, now you have like a checkerboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back and grid the ones I want black. So I'm going to start in the center. So I'm going to say, let's first of all see where that line is right there. I want that one to be black. That way I don't have to erase it. So I'm just going to do this. And every other check, put a mark. And I will know that that's the ones I'm going to paint black. Okay, see? So I'm going to paint on those black. What I love about this surface is once I took this off, and I took this off for you guys mostly because normally I would just leave it on, but I want you to see that when you're doing it, you can just turn your project over and over and around and get it to the angle you need. So let me find a brush that's a wider brush because I need a little bit wider one. Okay, let's see. Yep, I like that one. Okay. Let's see. So truly, let me see. I've used all my great brushes for other projects. Apparently, I bought a new pack the other day and I can't find them. Now, I buy a lot of my brushes, like this one came from Dollar General. These are Zen brushes from Hobby Lobby, and these are great for checking because the bristles are real stiff and they don't move as much. So a lot of times I'll use stuff like that. This one is great for small projects, but you see how tiny it is? You want something a little bigger because it's gonna take you forever if you don't. But we're gonna start with that one just because it's got the good bristles, and I don't want to. Let's see if that one there might work better. Yeah, let's use this one. It's a little bigger. See, and honestly, you can use some that has even larger than this, but you want to. Let's get one that's already open. You want to start out with something you have a lot of control over. So you don't need a lot of black. This is the black I use. It's Lamp Black by Art Deco. It's very highly pigmented. You can use any color black, but to me, I like this one better because I don't have to do more than one coat. This is a one and done paint. Apple Barrel, I use all the time for things, but not the black, not for this. So I'm going to tilt it so you guys can kind of see. You just put the paint on your brush and offload. I'm going to start in the center here. Offload in the center. Turn my brush sideways and straight down. Down. And everybody does theirs differently, but this is how I do mine. Hey, Miss Wendy. So I do the same thing over. We're doing checks, Wendy. So I know Wendy's like me. She loves her black and white. I don't know. I'm sure she probably paints some checks too sometimes. I love your black and white cake, Wendy. So I'm going to show you this. See how I went over the line there? That's because I laid my brush down too much. So when you're doing the corners, make sure you tilt your brush, but then pull it up before you get to the end. I don't have enough paint on my brush. But if you do like that and you make a mistake, don't worry about it. You notice I offloaded my brush before I put back in that square because that's just too much paint to go into it. But if you overdo it, see how I fixed that square? So you cannot mess it up to where you cannot fix it. Just don't even worry about it. I just keep picking paint up and moving it. And turn your project. I do work on large projects sometimes, and they are more difficult to pick up and turn. Like I've done planters and large pumpkins. Y'all seen my big pumpkin. But I sit there on that couch and painted for hours on that pumpkin, and that thing got flipped around all different ways. So no worries. So look how fast it goes. Hey, Miss Sandra, we're making checks today. And we are making over, this is a banana holder, and we're going to glam it up. We'll make him pretty. I probably should have had 0 coffee before doing checks because I am really shaky. But I did do half calf, so. Wendy, do you do any painting like this? I know you love the black and white too. By the way, I absolutely love your cake. So you're going to have to share with me, is that the black and white, oh my bristles here. Is that black and white cake base, is it, all right, don't share any secrets you can't share. I know how that goes, but is it foam sheets? Or did you paint those black and white stripes on there? And you guys, if you see what I'm doing, I'm just cutting off wild hair off my paintbrush. If they become too wild, and I just cut them off because they fray and they drag the paint, and I don't want that. So that's what I was just doing. And honestly, that only happens with these brushes from Dollar General, but it don't bother me enough to buy the really expensive ones because these brushes are really good brushes for this, I promise. If you get used to painting checks, you won't need those expensive brushes. When I first started, I spent a fortune on brushes. Turns out it's less about the brush and more about the person behind it, to be honest. And not being a perfectionist, because you cannot be a perfectionist and do this, honestly. Because you'll drive yourself nuts trying to get it perfect. Ah, it's faux leather. Oh, I love that idea. Year before last, I made some faux leather pumpkins. And it was difficult to work with it, curving it, because it was too thick. But for a cake base, I bet that was awesome. That's a good medium to work with. Well, it's beautiful. I love it. I said, man, I'm going to have to do something like that, because I could use that in my own house. And I'm going to tell you guys, which some of you already know this, but sometimes people watch crafters, and if you're watching and you're not a crafter, but you see things, you're like, I want to do this. If you're buying items like a cake, and we can attest to this, because a lot of times when I'm at a craft show, or people ask me, what do you do with it? One of my favorite things to do with my mini cakes is make them into a tree topper. I love to put a skewer in the bottom of it and just stick it down to the top of my tree, or in any other part of the tree, and put a real nice bow coordinating under or around the cake base, and they just glam up your tree so good. I wish I have a small house. I keep saying that every time we have a live. We talk about decorating, but I really don't have a lot of space, or I would show you guys when I decorate my tree, because but I also don't decorate in a minute. Like, I'm one of those people that while I'm decorating my tree, I come back to it all day, you know. So it's kind of difficult for me to do a live for that purpose. And I do so many trees every year that it's a work in progress. And I know this is how I feel. Like, we as crafters, we're on our page a lot, and we want to share things with you guys, but sometimes if you do everything live, you don't enjoy it as much, because you don't have the creative flow. You don't have the liberty to just think on the quick, you know. You just run. Like when I'm decorating, I run up and down my stairs at my house 3 or 4 times thinking of something else in my craft room I want to use. I'm sure others are the same way. But I love those little mini cakes as tree toppers. They're beautiful on a wreath too. I've seen some people do really nice wreaths with those mini cakes too. Okay, so I guess you guys are beginning to wonder what we're going to do on the edge of this thing, and I'm gonna show you, because we're not going to sweat this. We're just going to keep on trucking. It looks like a hot mess while it's going, but it's going to be so pretty when we're done. We only got 2 more checks. Can y'all believe that? Okay. So, one thing too, sometimes I use napkins on decoupage with some of the really nice Mackenzie Childs napkins I have. The thing about that is, a lot of times I sell my items, so I can't sell things that are authentically Mackenzie Childs. I use it in my home, but I can't sell them as a crafter because they're licensed. But if you wanted to make something like this and you did not want to, could not check, or you haven't learned how to do this yet, then you can take one of the authentic napkins and you can Mod Podge this on here without any wrinkles using an iron. I've done it so many times, and so don't be intimidated. Start out doing something like that if you really love the look. And trust me, if anybody is on my page and you ever, you know, are, if you make purchases from me, sometimes people make purchases. I love when people tell me what they like, because if you need a napkin, I am happy to toss you one in there. I have several Mackenzie Childs napkins. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do now. So we're going to go around the edge. See how we're coordinating? I can come straight down with my brush and just carry that check, because see, the ones on the edge are half checks. That looks like I've made a big mistake, but that's the hole where we're going to screw this back together. You think that was fast? Conditioning in this room is really strong. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to just pull that down. I'm going to try to not make a mess and go over and just come straight down. I'm just eyeballing it. Let me turn it where I can see it a little bit better. Can you guys see okay? And curves are kind of difficult to get it straight. You see, it's not straight. But I'm going to turn it where I can see it a little bit better, and I'm going to make sure I get it a little more straight. And I turn my brush sideways a lot. And don't be afraid to come back on top and pull it straight down. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So see, I'm going to tilt it where you can see. See, it looks like one continuous check now. That's what we want. So we're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to try to do it before I need more paint. And we're going to glam this thing up because when we're through with it, he's going to be beautiful. And honestly, I don't have a banana hanger in my kitchen. I don't have room for stuff like this. But I thought it would be a really pretty gift for someone because Christmas in July is all about Christmas, you know. So we're going to do, like I said, we'll do a Christmas present, Christmas gift. Look at there. And I like this one's kind of got a smooth edge too. So, and I just keep going all the way around. You don't have to worry about this being exact because it's very forgiving. I'm trying to see it. I'm seeing if y'all can see over there in my iPad. And look, I'm going to show you up close. See this check right here? It's not perfect. You see how it looks? It really, really does not matter because I'm going to show you, and I'm going to leave it like that because I'm going to show you once we get it done, I go back and I add a little character to these checks and stuff like that won't matter. So don't panic when you have a little mistake like that. And if you do have a mistake and it really annoys you, you can go over it with white paint. But just know I'm getting an alert that says I have a slow connection, y'all. So I hope it doesn't cut me off. Am I coming through okay? My phone keeps saying I have a slow connection. We live in the middle of nowhere, so our internet's terrible. It's very wonky. In fact, I didn't have any internet this morning when I was getting ready for work, and I've upgraded my internet. Hopefully they'll come out and fix it, but they haven't yet. So awesome. So I hope y'all can still see me. We're almost through. We got 2 more sides. I'm going to skip over here so I'll give this one time to dry. And you see, I haven't even had to worry about drying that with my heat tool because this paint dries so fast. That's why I love chalk paint. All right. And I like to turn my brush sideways to make sure I get a crisp edge. This is not the absolute best brush for this because I'll tell you what, am I freezing? I'm so sorry. I'm bad for putting my brushes in my water and letting them sit there, and it makes the brush bristles frizzle out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you are checking, try not to do that with your checking brushes because it will mess you up when you're checking. We've got 3 more to go and we're done with this. All right, so let's go sideways and clean that one up a little bit. I got to clean the edge. There. Let me turn it a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, y'all. I know y'all can't see it as good when I do that, but I got a little bit of a sideways check going here. All right. 2 more and we're through. Am I freezing for anybody else? Aunt Carol says I keep freezing, so. I can see my my lines where I use my pencil right there, so I'm gonna go over it a little bit and make sure it's covering that up because I don't want my pencil marks to show. And I got it. And sometimes you can see your brush strokes in here. It really doesn't matter because when I'm through with it, you won't see that either. So don't panic. When I first started checking, I panicked over all of it. I was like, God, I'll never get this. I got brush strokes. I've got blank spaces. I'm going over. But we're just having fun. It's just fun. And when crafting's not fun, it's time to put it down for a while. All right, last one. All right. So, look at there. I'm going to turn it so you guys can see. See, it looks continuous. Uh-oh. On camera, I can tell when my checks aren't right. Okay. I can tell, like, when I look, see how this one looks like it's narrower, more narrow over here? So, I need to widen that check a little bit. And I'm going to do that with my brush. Just give it a little bit more structure there. Come out with it a little bit more. Because it just got too skinny at the bottom. So see, it looks a little bit better. Okay. So just sit back and look at your checks. If they look good, then you're good to go. I see another one right here. See, I did the same thing on that one. But I'm going to leave it because I don't think it matters. I think it's fine. So I'm going to put my brush in the water. Let me clean my hands a little bit. I dropped my white. Give me a second. I did good. I didn't get it all over me quite as bad as I normally do. Let's spray my water. We have to dry that, and I'm gonna tell you another trick. When you are drying, when you're painting checks, you got to be very careful when you go to seal it, because when you seal your black, let me get this done. Get this done. When you seal your black paint, unless it has set overnight, when you go to seal it using a brush and liquid sealer, it will make your black paint bleed into your white sometimes. Now, sometimes I want that look and I make it happen on purpose. But on this one, I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, before I seal it, I'm going to use my spray Mod Podge. Now, make sure when you use this, and this is a matte finish, it doesn't matter because mine's going to be shiny when I'm through with it anyway, but to seal it where it doesn't bleed, I'm just going to spray this matte. I'm off screen probably, but make sure when you use this, if you're in the house, you have good ventilation, because you don't want to get, that smell is really, really strong. I mean, it's just like any other aerosol. But see, I sealed it before going any further. So let me just hit it with my heat tool again. And I think I got a little spot right there that's got some fresh paint. Almost dry enough. Now, I shouldn't need that anymore for right now. So I'm going to take a wide brush. Let me clear it. Y'all, I'm so sorry about that, y'all. So sorry. I lost you because I had an alert come in. I apologize. Hopefully you guys are still with me and you're back. So I take a wide brush and I'm going to get my black paint on my brush. And I'm going to offload almost all of it. Are you guys still there? Did I lose everybody when I did that? I'm so sorry. I gotta have some coffee. So if you guys are still with me, give me a thumbs up. Ah, yay! Yay! Here, let's see if it'll do it. I have so much stuff in my room that when I have these little reactions, it doesn't want to do anything. Hey, Ginger! Good. I was afraid I lost you guys. Yay. Hey, Anna. Thank you guys so much. So I'm going to put some, I'm going to grunge this up a little bit with black paint. But I want to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So I'm going to tell you, if you love this look and you want to recreate something like that, pick either you're going to do, like I'm going to go down. Let me just see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start in the center here. And I'm going to go down. Okay, my brush isn't wet enough. Let's put a little bit of water on it. So keep your spray bottle handy too. So I'm going to go in the center here, and I'm going to go in my black paint and pull it down. Let's see, I want a little bit more. Okay, so if you don't like it so heavy, then use the side. See, I'm going for something like that. Since I've already sprayed it with a sealer, I can wipe back part of that if I want to, which I'm fixing to do. So just spray it with some water and wipe it back a little bit. That may not work as well as I thought it would. Let's try that. Okay. So I'm going to start again because I didn't like that's too heavy. So let me spray my water a little bit more. And sometimes I use a product called Flow Trail. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's also for paint pouring, to put in my black paint when I do this, to make it more like that, where it drags a little bit better. So see? Gosh, I just can't get the color I want. Give me a second, y'all, because I don't like that. Hold on. Let me find my brush. I'm going to put my white paint back over it because that's just too much for me. See, there's no worries if you mess up. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and touch it up. All right. So I touched that up with my white paint because you see, I just didn't like it. It's too much. So I'm going to start with another square and allow that one to dry. Let me dip in my black paint again. And now I kind of know what I want this time around. Make sure my brush is good and wet. See, I'm offloading most of it. You don't want all that. I could have got me a piece of cardboard. And then I'm going to turn my brush sideways because I want it kind of like this. See what I'm doing? Just a little bit. Now, if you are putting drags in your black and your white, you notice I did both of these on the same side. Don't skip over here and do the other side because it'll look weird. So if you're staying on the right side, you stay on the right side. See, I'm doing the right. I stay on the right each time. I'm doing the right side. I don't like that. That looks like a brush. So, and see, I dipped in that white, and I got white on my. That's why it looks like that. But no worries. Let me rinse some of that white off. Okay. Now go back in your black paint and offload all of your black paint. Let me get something else here. Hold on a minute, y'all. Let me get my a paper towel. Because that's better. There we go. Yeah, I just want some black paint in my brush, but I want to offload most of it. Because you don't want all that black. But I do want some water so that when I do it, it flows better. There we go. I think that'll work. So stay on the same side. And I use my finger a lot to grunge it the way I want it. Because I don't really like where you can see the brush strokes as much. Now, if you like that look, you can do that. And a lot of people use a fan brush. See right there what I was talking about? That paint where I touched up is still wet. So it's smearing the white. It's fine because I can touch that up with my white. So here's the lapped over. We want it to go that way. I'm going to do the same thing here. And on this side, because it's like that, we're going to just do to the side. There. Just grungy it up a little bit. Same over here and over here. I know y'all panic sometimes when you see, you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's ruining it. This is the way I do my checks. And then I go back and I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to do the same thing with the white. Let me dry it off. And I'm going to use my white brush because I don't want to, when you use that black, I told you it's very, very pigmented. It'll still have black in it. No matter how much you rinse it for a while, it'll just, you can't get it all off. So I do the same thing with the white. I want white with some water so it flows easier. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it in the black. I'm not going to do a lot because the white goes a long ways. And notice I'm doing it on the opposite side. You don't have to. It's just kind of what I prefer. See? It's a little too much. See? You use a thin brush, Sandra. Sometimes I use a fan brush. But it really depends on... I like when I use the Flow Trail. Works really well too. But if you seal it first, If you seal it, I mean really, really seal it, to me it works even better. But for time's sake, I didn't do that. But we're going to, and I'm going to tell you something else I really like doing, is I like putting color in it. And a lot of people keep it the same color, but I like putting navy in mine. I like to use the navy. Now let me find my black brush again, because I want to touch that up right there where I see it. I don't like that look right there. So before you finish, you go back, and if there's anything you really don't like right there, I don't like that. So I'm just going to touch that up. And right there, I don't like that as much. And then I'm going to clean that line right there that I said I wasn't going to mess with. I still don't like it as much, so I'm going to go there. One thing I will tell you when you're doing checks, if you're doing checks, make sure that all your checks actually touch. Because if they don't, like that one there barely touches, let me touch it a little bit more. If they don't touch, it looks weird. It just doesn't look as good. Okay, I like that much better. So see? Now, I'm going to go ahead and seal this again. But I'm going to use this, which is Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. And let me find a good brush. I really have got to clean my brushes out, y'all. I'm so bad. They're all my good brushes are sitting here in the bath. And then their bristles are no good. Sandra, do you do that too? I'm so bad about that. So if you do checks, you know what I mean. When you leave your brushes in there, they fizzle out at the bottom some. And then you've got a mess. You can't use them for checking this much. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in my container. And a tiny bit of this goes a long way. It's very, very liquidy. I mean, it's very, very liquidy. And I just start in the center. Come down. And I do it quickly because if it activates that paint, it will bleed. So it feels like I'm tricking the paint not to bleed on me as fast. Look how shiny it's getting. And you don't want this paint to run. I mean, this sealer to run, because it will if you get it too thick. I would rather do 2 or 3 coats. Look right there, what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's bubbled. So you don't want it bubbling. Is that Miss Ronette? Hey, girlfriend. I tried to tag you and a couple other people who like, I believe it was you that said you love the checks. And last time we did a checking project, and I tried my best to tag a couple people, but Facebook would not let me. So, but look how shiny that is now. Can you guys see how shiny that is? And don't it look totally different than when we started? I mean, it looks like all the imperfections look like they're intentional to me. I like that look. So, I'm going to set this to the side so it can dry. And now, y'all, we are going to work on this. So, this is what we're going to do. This is the banana hanger. Thank you, Miss Donna. Thank you so much. And see, the bottom of this is that wood. Now, I may do something different to the bottom to glam it up a little bit, but I probably will leave it like it is. So this is the banana hanger, and I got it backwards. There's the way it goes. So we're going to paint this gold. I like my gold. If you use, and I pray to God I can get this lid off because it seals on so tight sometimes. But if you do have some of the items in by our favorite designer, if you have some of those items in your home, you know she uses, or that company uses, a lot of gold. And this is my favorite go-to. It's Liquid Leaf in classic gold. And it's I get it at Hobby Lobby, but I'm sure you can get it other places too. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. It's a lot more expensive than buying it there. Now, this is my brushes. This is terrible, y'all, but I'm going to show y'all. Full disclosure, you're, let's see. Full disclosure, you can get something that you don't see other. That, Sandra, she says that, oh, I'm so sorry, Sandra. I'm so sorry. I sit in the couch sometimes and paint checks. So you're into junk journaling. That's good. I'm glad you found something of interest. Having a cancer diagnosis has got to be tough. I'm so sorry. But as I was fixing to say, this is my brushes I use. Look how gross that is, y'all. This is my brushes that I use for this oil-based paint. And I keep them in this cup with oil. This is plain old castor oil. I have used so many different types of paint cleaner or brush cleaner for oil-based paint, but I do not do that anymore.